everyone. I'm Miss Nan. I'm one of the elementary school teachers at Christ Church United Methodist Speech and Sunday School today, and I have two great teachers with me. I have Miss Ilene and I have Miss Emily, who's going to do songs today. And Miss Ilene's going to work with us on a really great craft. So today, actually all month, we're talking about leaders in the church now, leaders in the church back in the day, right after Jesus, when the church was first starting. Today, we're going to be talking about Paul and Timothy. Now, we've been talking about Paul a lot lately, and Timothy a little bit lately. Paul, you'll probably remember if you've seen some of our other Sunday school lessons, if you've been watching and following along, Paul was the one who used to be really cruel to Christians. He didn't like Christians. And he was walking along one day and saw a bright light and fell to the ground and heard a voice that was God or Jesus saying, "Paul, why are you persecuting me?" And then he was blinded. So he was like, "What's going on?" So they had to lead him to a little house where he stayed until another kind Christian man got a message from God to open his eyes up so he could see again. And after that, boom, Paul was a Christian and went out spreading the word all about Jesus and how he died for our sins. Now, one of the people that Paul talked to was a very young man named Timothy. And we're going to be talking about Timothy this week too. And Timothy became a preacher, but he was very, very young. So Paul wrote a letter called 1 Timothy, and it's part of our Bible. And in that letter, one of the things he told Timothy was, don't be discouraged because you're really, really young. You can still do great things. And that was our message for each of you too. And this week, Paul is also sending encouragement to Timothy. So to tell you a little bit about the backstory, when Paul wrote this letter to Timothy that we're going to be discussing today, Timothy was having a really difficult time. We don't know what was going on with Timothy, why he was having a hard time, but Paul must have known, and he could tell that Timothy needed encouragement from his mentor. Now, as you're probably well aware, encouragement means to build somebody up, to make them feel good, and to remind them that they can do things. And a mentor is like a teacher, somebody that you turn to for advice and help, and someone that teaches you. So Paul could tell Timothy needed some help from his mentor. Paul was also having a really difficult time because he was in prison. So here's Paul in prison, but he's sending encouragement and kind words to Timothy. Paul was arrested for preaching all about Jesus, and he probably needed some encouragement too. So I'm going to read to you our story from the Bible. It's from 2 Timothy, because it's the second letter that Timothy wrote, chapter 1, and this is from verses 3 through 7. And I'm going to show you the picture that's in our Bible here, because I really enjoy looking at pictures. It helps me understand the story. And look, there's Timothy, and it looks like he's got some older women there with him, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And see the scroll. Do you remember? I'm trying to get there. Remember we talked about how they didn't have paper and notebooks like we have today. They wrote on parchment paper and scrolls, which was animal skin, and they dipped their feather into ink and then write out. It took quite some time. So this is what Timothy wrote in his letter of encouragement. This is from the Bible. Paul wrote another letter to Timothy. Paul knew Timothy was having a hard time and needed some cheering up. Paul said, "Dear Timothy, I am grateful to the God that we serve. I pray for you every day and night. When I remember how sad you are, I have hope that you will be happy again soon. You have a strong faith, Timothy. Your grandmother Lois and your mother Eunice love God, and they are faithful believers. I know they taught you how to be faithful. I want you to remember that God has given you special gifts. God did not give us a spirit that's afraid, but spirits that are strong, that are loving, and that are self-controlled. Wow, so maybe, likely, this would be Paul's grandmother and his mother. And we thought about how Paul is encouraging Timothy. I think this would be a good time for a song break. Miss Emily, do you have a song that you could sing with us?
I sure do. So we're actually going to look back at the 2 songs that we did in last week's lesson. Last week's lesson was about being a leader. And it's really good because these 2 lessons about being a leader and about encouraging others, they go really well together, because if you're a leader, you also have to be able to encourage other people, help them, and make them feel better when they're going through a hard time. So let me share my screen here. Oh boy, I got a new laptop here, so it might take me a second to, oh boy, I don't know if it's going to let me share. I'm still learning my new laptop, and I need some encouragement with that. So I will sing it to you.
You can do this, Miss Emily.
I can do this. Yes, you're right. So I will sing it to you. Can't get the words up, I apologize, but you can stop it at the end, go back and sing it again if you would like. Okay, so the first one is called I Am a Leader. It's going to be to the tune of You Are My Sunshine. Okay. I am a leader, a Christian leader. I follow Jesus every day. I set examples of love and kindness, showing friends the Christian way. I am a leader, Christian leader. That doesn't mean that I'm the boss. It means I'm helpful and I encourage, helping those who feel sad and lost.
Thanks, Miss Emily. On my end,
welcome.
there's a little bit of freezing and distortion, so we'll have to wait and see whether that comes out okay on the tape or not, on the video.
I hope so.
I hope so too. So now we're going to talk about being encouraged, and we're just going to kind of review. There's our picture again of Timothy, and I'm going to kind of tell you the story again, and we're going to do some motions with it. So Paul and Timothy grew older. That's what people do. And Paul continued to travel and tell others all about Jesus. Timothy became a leader in the church, and eventually Paul was put in prison for telling others about Jesus. And while Paul was in prison, he wrote a second letter to Timothy, and Paul wrote, Timothy, I thank God for you. I pray for you every day and night. So let's put our hands together like we're praying for Timothy. I remember that you God just like your grandmother Lois and your mother Eunice. I know that God's love is inside of you. As it said, don't be afraid. God did not give us a spirit that is timid, but one that is powerful, loving, and self-controlled. Here's my favorite part. Make your muscle arms. Because you're powerful, you're loving, and self-controlled. And that shows our power. Your friend, Paul. That was fun. So one of the things that we've talked about briefly is about Paul mentioning to Timothy that his mother and grandmother had encouraged them. And, you know, I thought about, as I've grown up, my parents and now my siblings and my husband and even my children encourage me in my faith, and I try to encourage them. And getting encouragement in your faith and in all of life from your family is very important. Family's wonderful for that. So I hope that there's someone in your family or lots of people in your family or friends that are giving you encouragement in your faith and in your everyday life. Here's another fun thing we're going to do. So you should have gotten this page. Put it up there a little bit closer. Whoops. And this is our verse for the month right here. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. We've mentioned it a couple times. God didn't give us a spirit that's timid, but one that's powerful, loving, and self-controlled. And then, do you see this? This is a fun activity that we're going to do right now. So grab yourself a pencil or a pen and that piece of paper. And if we read it, it says, I'm just going to read the first 3 lines. Here in So Joy House, continue so that encouraging who was each inside road, other those of and talk to. What? What is that? Whoa. So it's a hidden puzzle. And what we're going to do is we're going to circle every 3rd word. So if you need to push pause and get yourself your pen or your pencil and get this, go ahead and do that now. And then when you're done, push start again and we'll start. So I'm going to go through it with you. So it says, here in so. So here is 1, in is 2, so. So circle the word so. And then joy house, and the 3rd word is continue. So circle continue. So now we're just going to count. 1, 2, circle the long word encouraging. 1, 2, circle each. 1, 2, circle other. 1, 2, circle and. 1, 2, in the next line, circle building. Skip fruit, skip of, circle each. Skip spirit, skip wind, circle other. 1, 2, circle up. 1, 2, circle just. 1, 2, circle like. 1, 2, circle you, but patient, circle are. Make God, we're going to circle doing and not God. Live good, circle already, each other, and then you can do 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 11. Well, that's a Bible verse. So we're going to read it. You can see I've got it circled. If you want to, you can push pause until you finish circling and then come back on, and then you can hear what it says. So if you can read it yourself. But if you're not able to read quite yet, this is what it says. So continue encouraging each other and building each other up, just like you are doing already. So that's talking about how to build people up and encourage people. And it's from 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 11. That was a fun puzzle. Okay, so Miss Emily, do you have another song for us?
I sure do, and I unfortunately cannot share the words again. Next week I'm going to have it fixed. You know, when you start or you get something for the first time, it takes a little while to learn it. So I'm still trying to learn this computer. So the next song is called Jesus Teaches Me to Lead, and it's to the tune of Jesus Loves Me. Okay? Jesus teaches me to lead, help and love and do good deeds. Show my friends how to be good. Show the way like Christians should. Yes, I'm a leader. Yes, I'm a leader. Yes, I'm a leader. I help and do good deeds.
Hey, well, that made it a lot better. There was a bit of a glitch for me at the end, but I'm hoping it goes through. So the last thing I'm going to do before it's craft time is we're going to learn our Bible verse. So you can read it. It's right here on that little sheet of paper that I sent home with you. And we're going to repeat it. And I'm going to teach you a couple sign language motions that go with it, because sign language helps me remember the verse better. So the verse is, God did not give us a spirit that's timid, but one that's powerful, loving, and self-controlled. So we just say the first part, and then when we do powerful, we're going to bring our fist up and move them across. That's powerful, like you're moving something. And then loving is when you cross your arms to show you're loving someone or something. And self-controlled is a little bit, put your thumb up, put your finger here, do like this, like you're steering, I'm thinking like you're steering a sled or horse reins or something. So you do this to kind of show self, and then this for control. Okay, so let's do those signals with the verse. God did not give us a spirit that is timid, but one that is powerful, loving, and self-controlled. Okay, thank you for doing that with me. Now, it's one of our favorite times. It's Miss Craft time. It's craft time with Miss Ilene.
Another session of Sunday school, and I hope you enjoy our craft today. As we made last week, our puppets of Paul and Timothy, and we know that Timothy had so many good leaders and mentors to make him a good Christian and a good leader. And so today we're going to talk about how our family makes us good leaders and what they do in order to do that. Well, we're going to talk about a family tree. It's not really a tree. It's a diagram showing your immediate family, like moms and dads and their children, you and whoever else. Then it goes to grandparents on this side and grandparents, and then it goes to aunts and uncles and cousins, and oh my goodness, it goes on and on and on until you decide you're going to stop. And all of these people in some way influence our family and who we are and what we believe in. So families are very important. And you will be able, we're going to do our own family tree, and it's going to be our immediate family. This is what you'll see. It's the pattern of the tree that you're going to download, and then I'll show you what comes next. First, you'll cut those pieces all out, and they will look like this. This is the tree top, and you're going to put it on a piece of green paper, and if you want to cut it in scallops, okay. If you want to cut it all just around, you may do that too, but it's the top of the tree. So you see, I have drawn around it. I'm going to cut this all out, and you'll take your own time to do it as you wish. And then the tree trunk pattern looks like this. You cut it out, draw it on a piece of, and then you're going to cut clear around this edge. When you finish it, it will look like this. You'll have your tree trunk. And then the other part is a little more complicated. It's the apples. So you're going to take this pattern and put it on a folded piece of red paper, and you can have as long as you want. If you need 10 pieces, then how many you're going to cut? 2 at a time. You'll have to have 5 cuts, and that'll give you 10 pieces. Good math there, right? So once you get all of your pieces cut out like this, and all of your 10 apples, we're going to do something special. You need a background, and I chose blue because it won't block out the other colors. So first I'm going to glue my tree top. And you know, this never works the first time. Oh, it is. All right, so I'm gonna scribble around the whole tree and put some in the middle. And it decided not to work. There we go. So I have my glue. I'm going to put it onto my piece of blue paper, like so. There's my first part. That's the top of the tree. Then I'm going to put glue on the trunk. There's my glue. Place it under the tree. And now I have a tree with a trunk. See? Yours is going to look just like that. Now here's the fun part. We're going to use the apples to represent your family, and you're going to use your family's name. Well, since I don't know all the families, you'll have to write those in and have your parents help. So first is going to be, and it went on the floor. first I have me just, and you're going to write your name on it, not me. That if you have a little picture that would fit, this would be very nice to have a picture of every family member we're going to talk about today. So guess where you go? To the very, now remember this is important because this is the line that we're going to be talking about. First is you, that says me, and you write your name right here. How about your brothers and sisters? I don't know how many you have, but you're going to put those brothers and sisters right here. I'm going to pretend you have two, maybe a brother and a sister. So I'm going to write their names down. They go right under you. You might even have three, who knows? That makes it fun. Okay, so brothers and sisters are going to go right underneath your name. Okay, and you're going to have their names here. Right in the middle is going to go mom and dad. Their names, not the word mom and dad, or dad and mom, whichever way you want to say it. So there's middle. Okay, here's what you're looking at now. You, any brothers or sisters, mom, dad or mom, however you want to put it down there. And then the other immediate family members would be who? Grandparents. How special are they? So grandparents are going to go here because your dad has, well, that says mom. Your mom has, you have a grandmother and a grandfather on your mom's side and another grandfather on your dad's side. So let me show